Hollowbody is a game that reminisces on the old PS2 horror games, with it coming out on September 12, 2024 with a very positive rating on Steam, while also containing 26 achievements, with the setting being within an abandoned British city needing to solve many puzzles and manage the limited resources we have. Here's also my quick spoiler warning for anyone who wants to play the game for themselves. So get the hell out. Alright, for the people still here, let's grab a revolver and flashlight and begin the searching. We start the game in the menu, baby! Having to choose a difficulty. There are 2 difficulty achievements, one for beating the game unattended and one for being unpunished. But to unlock punished, we have to beat the game for the first time unattended. So with intended selected, we open up the game with lore. We begin to learn what happened in this world. Within the first 21st century, a catastrophic event had occurred. What was to be suspected as a bioterrorism attack from unknown origin, probably from the bat soups. From the attack, panic spread like wildfire. With the panic, the authorities evacuated the few high-value citizens out of the neighboring city of Aeonos. Yet even after the evac, feared with the potential of it spreading, it was decided to cage in the infected city with high walls. Yet it was still not enough. They began sending in weeks of ruthless orbital strikes till nothing survived, even the survivors themselves. With that, 6 decades have passed. Many strive to forget about the tragic event, while others seek the truth with justice alongside it. That's where we get introduced. Within the prologue, we play as Sasha, getting introduced to the people we won't come accustomed to, since right off the bat we get supposedly pushed down this massive hole from an outside source. Now with Sasha done, we get introduced to our next character named Micah. 12 days later from Sasha's incident. From the dialogue, a plan is given between Micah and Tax. Micah wants to find 100% dead Sasha, while Tax tries to give us a fair warning, but we ignore that anyway. So Tax reluctantly helps us and gives us a 24-hour opening to go save her. So we head out of the city amongst the thunderstorm around us, with us paying quite the heavy price, immediately crashing into the wrecked landscape. Despite that, we still breathe and have to call for some help with our radio, yet we're severely injured, but we do find our first of many first aid kits to heal our wounds. Now learning what we brought with us on the rescue mission: a revolver that's empty with 4 bullets, a Kotak radio for communication, and a lighter that only serves 2 purposes. But trust me, it serves a much better use later on. But we got more pressing matters at the moment, like the first of many Kotak hotspots. Using the Kotak on these hotspots will give us a glimpse into the past. This one being about a family being locked into the homes and not allowed to leave for any reason, due to state regulations. Right after that, we reach the apartment. If we can get to the roof, we might be able to reach a signal. The front door is completely cut off, so with a roundabout answer, we make it through a window, committing a robbery. While in this room, I grabbed the first of many documents, needing a grand total of 25. Even though my goal is to reach the rooftops, the elevator is completely out, so I have to climb the common peasant stairs. Yet my suffering isn't long, since rubble blocks my path 2 floors up, so now begins the exploration of the floors. Many of the rooms hold nothing but death and maybe some ammo, but from within the emptiness, we find a new article talking about the town and how a company named Sherwoods plan to revitalize it and give prosperity in the once damaged economic city. Whatever, let's move on. I grabbed some more ammo and a key card to room 2.3 while finding my second hotspot. This one talks about lovers fighting, a man not eating anything for dinner, most likely from his job, being an occupational hazard. Using the key card, we're now able to access the floor below us. We get our first Silent Hill 2 save. Wait, wrong game. Grab a kid's drawing, and a hammer smashed into the wall. We then leave this room by committing a prison break, and we next hear a bashing coming from the door ahead of us. I grab the true and only melee weapon, and the door swings open, and find our first enemy of the playthrough. After a quick bashing, it goes down. The next 30 minutes turned me into trying to open up the safe, with the only reason of me solving it was just a Hail Mary, letting me grab a long key. After a quick cleanup on I'll crap my pants, we used the hammer to break open the lockbox, grabbing a note, a 401 key, and a magnetic card writer, allowing me to access almost every locked room in the apartment. While grabbing a diary and finding a totally normal room, we then make it to the next phone call, with a voice this time calling me a murderer. Excuse me, I was defending myself with the power of that giving a fuck! I make my second save while grabbing the tennis note and a bottle to drink the pain away. But we sadly can't drink it, however, we can commit to some very fun arson, allowing me to enter this specific room, giving me the third hotspot, with it just being water problems and nothing else, but at least I have high and dry now. We also grab a note and find a power supply to fix, but I struggled getting the power aligned to 16 for 15 minutes too many. Even with the note from the elevator, I still struggled, until I used the damn chopsticks, which really proved how smooth brain I am. With it fixed now, I can access the rooftop, and right off the bat, we casually just meet a man about to commit Siori. I attempt to talk him down by chatting about our Lord and Savior Miku, but instead of saving him, he leaves the world even faster than expected. Damn. He must hate Miku. While on the roof, we get contacted through the radio and get informed about the train station, and the idea that Sasha was last known at that location. The dead man doesn't just leave us with nothing, since we do grab a note with a password on it, letting us leave this building once and for all. Walking into the streets, we grab 2 notes while also finding a modern day card reader, but we can't access them just yet, but trust me, we'll come back to them in the future. Next on the hunting of finding is a quiver with no bow, but we take it anyway, while making it to our next save point, while also getting sniped by our first dog. During our lovely walk in the park, we then get our much needed bow, getting the best weapon in the entire arsenal, while also getting quiver down your spine. We also find the 4th hotspot, getting a guilty conscience for burying the infected corpses haphazardly. My lovely walk also ends with a locked gate. However, we do have our next goal within the wallet. With the information, we reach house number 21. We break in and instantly get jump scared by this freaky thing. Yet me being a coward allows me to leave and re-enter with no beef between me and him. So I'm chill with that. On the upper floor, I grab the 5th hotspot and learn about 2 people committing a Siori with some poison and a spoonful of sugar. We then grab the camcorder from the downstairs and connect it back upstairs, leading us to the next house across the street, while also finding a new article titled AI Nano Cells Anti-Aging or Fast Track Fatality, a product reducing the aging by 90%. However, with the testing, it's killed 3 people so far, under the company name of Echo Gardens, perhaps a project they were doing before the disaster. We then find another Siori corpse and notice something at the bottom of the tub. We then craft a tool to empty the tub and grab the love heart key and leave the park. Yet right before I leave, I grab another kid's drawing. We now enter the graveyard and enter the church as well, grabbing ourselves quite the boomstick. Now leaving the church, we have to solve this candle puzzle. So with a quick check around the graves, we unlock the secret passage within the church. But despite this progress, we now enter the wretched sewers. This is also the most complicated area for me in the entire game. I would say I spent half of my time here, because this will not be the only time I'll be here. But for now, we have to make our way through here, cleaning out the enemies that live here, and picking up 4 separate hearts while here. After dropping the hearts off onto this weird altar, we're able to leave the area, reaching the precious air once more. And another checkpoint! Yippee! While hearing the creepy voice once more. But who cares about that? While in the area, I also grabbed the 6th hotspot, which also, side note, doesn't one of the voices sound like Hagrid from Harry Potter if he had anger issues?
I'm not leaving, goddammit, this is my home. I've lived here for 52 years. You have no right walking in here like you own the place. Nonsense. I didn't agree to any of this. Did your mother ever teach you some damn manners? Escalate this, you good-for-nothing little bootlicker.
Am I crazy? I genuinely think this is him. I no joke do, please help me figure this out. Now with that over, we get residential upheaval. We then enter a little shop and grab a newspaper, learning about the setbacks and the disruptions from the Sherwood's revitalization project in the town, failing to meet expectations. We next find a jack stand, so I steal it immediately and use it to break into the garage all the way near the start and grab a blowtorch. Now running all the way back to the shop, I grab some fuses and head out, commit another robbery with the jack stand and get jacked, while finding a monitor that can accept 3 separate floppy disks. Interesting. We then receive the 7th hotspot, with it being about a stupid kid and some stupid playground. But with that stupidity over with, we get not for grown-ups. We next cut off a hand from a dead man and make it through the next locked door, being a handy hand. In the new area, we grab a delay note, now finally reaching the train station, receive one more phone call, and grab our last hotspot after clearing out the hobos that live here. But with the final hotspot we get, the station is not operational. We then grab a confidentiality note talking about the leaks that have already happened under the company of Echo Initiatives and to keep everything under wraps no matter what. But what exactly? At this point, I begin the mighty journey of backtracking.
Let me out this bitch! Oh my god!
We then make it to the complex and finally fix the gate, letting me explore once again. With my current gear, I can finally now grab the final weapon, the flamethrower. We're cooking on gas now, baby, while abandoning the instructions because who needs them? After that, we then pay respects to the man who fell down near the start and read his document, giving us information on what really happened here, starting with the company of Sherwood Estate Management and the promise that they had made. But they also had a plan to build the metro link from the train station to the mid-city, yet that was never followed all the way through, due to the unhealthy hours, the lack of safety measures, and the fatalities as well. But that wasn't the worst, with Sherwood now forcing families out of their homes with the promise of new homes that never came. Still not the worst. The worst being the sickness that began to spread, causing people to vomit blood, screaming in their sleep, and fighting their loved ones. With the final and most important piece of information, the wounded man we failed to save seemed to be immune to the sickness, damning the possibility of a potential cure perhaps. But who knows? We need more information. I then make it back to the station, grab some C4, and break the wall down, using the flamethrower to clean up the area, and picking up 2 more documents, while also robbing the dead and buying a ticket before heading out. However, I then finally remember the key I dropped and retrieve it within the sewers. Using the key on the modern devices, each gives us a disc. Retrieving all 3 from each device gives us an achievement for every disc. Disc 1, Disc 2, and Disc 3. After grabbing all 3, we're able to unlock the laptop and get revealed the truth. Learning about haphazard handling of high-grade medical waste during the construction of the Metro Link, while attempting to bury it all under the train, under the lead of Schubert's authority to help mask Echo Garden's involvement with their failed immortality experiments, which was mentioned in the Nanocells article. With their haphazard handling of the waste, the barrels began rupturing and exposing themselves to external stimulants. We also learned the name of it being B-152B, the new entity driven by self-replication, which binds to living hosts and consuming and replacing their systems with synthetic counterparts, while also stating the formation of a biological consciousness that spreads via airborne, with its illness and reactions aligning with the wounded man's note. But that's not all. There are reports of auditory hallucinations, primarily in times of rest, hearing what they call a mother figure. The containment procedures had also seemed to fall through, resulting in Echo Guardians trying to bury it all and severing all connection to Sherwood to save their skin, starting with the walls. With this earth-shattering information, we need to get Sasha and get the hell out of here. So we make it back to the station and drop down the totally safe hole, after some Harry Potter level of phasing through. Amongst these fleshy walls, we travel carefully and find the corpse of a man with the detonator. After grabbing it, a monstrous spider creature emerges and begins the final battle that I won on my first try. Yeah, this boss fight was not that hard. After an easy dub and double checking that it's dead, we make it back to the corpse on the wall and jump down another hole, finding ourselves in front of what could only have been guessed as a massive tree, while finally reaching Sasha, somehow still alive, having a pulse. Yet we can't leave. Sasha's legs are completely broken, but we can hope that Tax will save us. While here in our last hoping moments, we can hear a ringing. Another telephone, another ringing.
Thank you for calling Sherwood Estate Management. Please hold and one of our operators will be with you shortly.
It's you. Bandages you.
She begins stating that she can help us, lighting the way for Tax to find us, while also stating that we're the same. But I don't care anymore. We finally made it, and I'm so tired from everything. Let me just rest.
You're safe now, little sparrow. Mother will keep you warm.
We're not done yet though. We got some cleanup to do in another playthrough, requiring many actions, first starting with Logomaniac, for collecting all the notes in the game. So with some massive backtracking, I grabbed the rest, beat the game for a second time, and get Logomaniac. Also, quick flex, if you haven't noticed through this entire video, I haven't died a single time, because I'm just that much of a GigaChad gamer. But enough boasting, let's get the rest. Now starting the second playthrough, but this is where it becomes much more difficult and different. First needing me to play on Punish difficulty for the achievement Masochist. Punish difficulty has 2 significant changes: the increased damage that enemies do, and the new way to kill enemies. I knew you had a true purpose, Lighter. We can deal with them how you normally would, but we can't just leave the crime scene right after. We have to make sure you burn the corpse. If you don't, they'll just come back right after you leave. There is also one more thing to also consider. To receive the hardest achievement in the game, we have to hinder ourselves by removing the already expensive American healthcare through an entire playthrough, not allowing us to use more than 3 first aid sprays in one playthrough. Now let's get running. Right off the bat, we're immediately forced to use a first aid kit, but from that point on, it's almost exactly the same. We reach the apartments, grab a hammer, and fight the first enemy, except I lost all my gamer skills and get hit twice, bringing me to critical health, making me one shot, and I refuse to heal myself. Instead, I become a coward and avoid every enemy possible, and whenever I felt like I was about to lose some progress, I would use the save points. We then reach the rooftops, and instead of letting the man Siori himself, we save him this time around and he joins me on the adventure. Again, back on the same old journey, except for me still being an idiot. I do die for the first time by the park by a stupid dog, with one more singular death until we reach the church again and re-enter the sewers. From the start of the game, I've been keeping my ammo quite limited for this moment. I don't want to die here and spend 15 minutes getting back, so another cleanup is in order. With that, we do the same thing and get the hell out of here and reach the next checkpoint, while making the decision to use my second first aid kit. Yet this is where I rack up my death count by 3. What, were you expecting me to suffer a lot more? Nah, I've learned and adapted. Again, nothing interesting happens till I make it back to the boss fight and die only twice. I swear, Your Honor, the boss had more health. After that, we win and re-enter the hole, now finding a doghouse this time around and a cute dog leading us to freedom through a boat. Being the captain, of course! Why wouldn't he be the captain? Now leaving this cursed area, we get the last of the achievements. Bringing this horror story to the end of it. Hollowbody is something I quite enjoyed. I've never really experienced the old PS2 games, but still a fun game. I can give this game a 6 out of 10 in flamethrowers in the fun factor, and a 5 out of 10 in doggo captains in difficulty. For this game being quite short and having only 3 endings, I thought it was pretty interesting with the lore, slowly unraveling as you pick up every document and every disc, after reading all the documents several times, while also the 3 endings being both good and sad, with the doggo ending being the best ending. I believe the Riven ending is the canon ending within the game, even though it just results in Micah being alive and being interrogated. Better than the reunion ending, which is just essentially a game over. I don't really think I have any complaints about this game besides the ungodly amount of backtracking, but maybe I don't have enough say in the matter since I never experienced the older games, and or maybe I just don't have the patience for it. The weapons were minimal while also lasting just enough, even allowing you to go the extra mile for extra gear. Yet I still stuck to the basic starting melee weapon. A positive I do feel like mentioning, at least in my eyes, was the way how enemies were handled. Sure, there's only like 3 enemies in the game, 4 if you include the endgame boss, but I thought it was worthwhile. You only have so much ammo to spare, but you could spend them well enough when you killed an enemy, since they never respawned at all. That to me felt kinda awesome. At the end of this, I could walk away suggesting this game to some people who are looking for a smaller game while connected to older times, knowing they might enjoy it. And with that, stay chill and watch some anime.